Welcome to Wildlife Conversations. I am Jen Ritchie, your host, and I want to thank Roberts Camera for sponsoring the podcast and helping make this possible. They are an awesome camera store in Indianapolis, and they have been so generous to support the podcast and give us a discount code. You can see that in the description. So please visit robertscamera.com and see all they have to offer. And also use Photo Pro, which is a Roberts arm of their business, which is their used photos. See them as well. But I want to welcome all the way from Ontario, Canada, my colleague and a wonderful photographer, Christine Rice, tonight. Hi, Christine.
Hi.
Hi. We've been talking a little bit about spring migration and Instagram before we got on. So we're going to have a great discussion tonight. We're going to talk about birds and foxes and all kinds of things. But you can say hello to Christine in the chat and tell us where you're listening from. I see people from Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Mike. How are you? Hi, Tiffany. Oh, she's visiting Newfoundland in June. That's cool.
That's
exciting.
so
cool. Hi, Gwen. It's good to see you all. And I know it's a busy season. May is so busy. So thank you everyone for joining us. Hi, Maureen from Utah. Yeah. Hi, Kathy. Or wait, Catherine. I'm sorry. Sometimes they cut your name off and I can't see. I can't see your whole name, but I want to also say that Siler Peralta Ramos and I are continuing our 3-month coaching cohort this summer, and we start June 1st. If you'd like to join that, send me a message. And we're also doing December winter workshop with moose in the Tetons, and you can contact me if you're interested in that for December 8th and 9th. So if you are interested in that, just send me a message. So Christine, I said you were based in Ontario.
Yep.
And that's where you live and work right now.
Yes. Yep.
Did you grow up there too?
Yeah, I've been in Ontario my whole life.
Yeah. I told you I've only visited once. I need to get back.
You need to visit a nicer part of Ontario.
Yes, I know. It was years ago. I mean, like 20 years ago. And we went to some fitness. My husband's in kinesiology. And so we were at some fitness conference or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I was taking care of kids and he was going to the conference. And that was, I think, my first time to Canada, though. So that was cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So do you get to shoot locally much, or what does Ontario have in your area?
Yeah, so I'm about an hour from Toronto. So I think people will be surprised at how much wildlife we actually have here. There's a lot of ravines and parks. And all the lakes, of course. So we do get quite a variety of species. Like everything from white-tailed deer to coyotes, foxes, all that kind of stuff. Tons of birds, salamanders, amphibians.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, lots of different things. And then we were talking about, we get like a good bird migration through here as well in the spring. Like that's what's happening now. And then if you go a little bit more north, then we get some of the bigger stuff like moose and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, you have moose in your feed.
And bears and all that.
Yeah, wow. I was about to say we're pretty similar in what we have, but I don't have moose and I don't have bears.
Okay. Yeah, so you should have just driven like another 5 hours north.
Just go straight. Yeah. Get a little bit more. But this is not your full-time job, wildlife photography.
No.
Okay. So what do you do as a full-time job?
I'm a veterinary technician.
Wow.
So yeah, so I've been in the veterinary field for like 2 decades now almost.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually got into photography after I started dealing with burnout and compassion fatigue is really when it like became a passion for me. I found that getting outside in nature was just so healing, and it gave me something healthier to focus on other than work.
Yeah. I can see that. As soon as I saw that in your bio, I was like, oh goodness, that's a lot of joy and a lot of hard things too. Yeah. Just knowing that we've had amazing vet people work through hard things with us with our own pets. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah. My daughter would like to go in some kind of field like that and just loves animals. It is so good with animals and, working towards some of that. But yeah, she did one little workshop or no, you know, I can't even think of the right word. Um, anyway,
Like a placement or volunteer or something?
when you go and you observe, you're
Oh,
observing.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even
Yeah.
think of the right word. And so after she had to watch a surgery, she was like, okay, I don't think I want to be a veterinarian. Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Because it's really, really hard. So,
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy field to work in, so,
yeah.
um, unless you're, like, very passionate about it, and even then, I think sometimes that makes it worse.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So this love of animals, has it always been there since you were a child?
Yeah, yeah. I can't
Okay.
remember a time when, like, I wasn't attracted to animals.
Yeah.
Like, as a young kid, I had a crazy stuffed animal collection, um, like, bookshelves full of stuffed animals, and, I always was begging my parents for another pet or to go to the zoo and stuff like that.
Yes. That is so cool. So you're working in this field, you're getting compassion burnout, just tired. How do you find photography again? Had you had a camera before and picked it back up
Um,
or?
yeah, so, I originally bought a camera, I think I was like a teenager at the time.
Mhm.
It was like after my first job, and we had in the field behind our house a fox den.
Oh, cool.
And I had gone to the camera store and I got I think some like Nikon DSLR. And the lady at the camera store, of course, is like, "This is exactly what you want," and blah blah blah. And I couldn't really figure out how to use it. The
Yeah.
photos came out like overexposed. It was like a kit lens or something,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like way too far away. Uh, the fox is a little speck in the photo. But yeah, so that kind of like fell to the side, and then like work kind of took over my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I started again when I was going on nature hikes with my friend.
Mhm,
We would just go out and go for walks and stuff like that. And he started bringing his camera.
mhm.
And we one of the days that we went out, we bumped into a barred owl in the tree.
That's
And
cool.
it was really low, and it was like at eye level, and like I could get cell phone photos, but when I saw his photos later from his camera,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, like that's incredible. And then I was like, of course, running home to go find my DSLR.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was
Get
like, I'm
that
gonna
thing
bring that
out.
out with me next time. And yeah, no, that wasn't gonna do. So uh,
Here
so
comes photography. Here comes
yeah, so
the addiction and the cost.
addicted for someone else. And then, so yeah, I pretty much immediately went out to the store and bought the same system that he had.
Yeah,
I sold that old one for like $100 or something.
yeah, yeah,
And um, and then I was just hooked from there.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so I got what he had because then I was able to have him kind of like introduce me to it. And that was at the time a Fuji XT30.
okay.
And then I think I had a 55 to 200 mil lens, and
Mhm.
then I quickly upgraded to like a 100 to 400.
Yeah.
Um,
I was
because
gonna say that 200 got you just almost there, then
yeah, it's just like a tease. Yeah. Now I'm like, oh, take me back to 200, but
Oh, that's true.
I,
I know. Isn't that interesting?
yeah,
So
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
But uh, but yeah, so then from there I was pretty much going out all the time, just taking
Yeah.
pictures of whatever I could find, like it
Yeah.
was a moth or a flower or a deer or whatever I could find. And then like in the winter time when I leave work, it's pretty much almost dark already.
Right.
And I was like addicted. Like I was learning everything. I
I
just
remember
wanted to
that.
be
I
out all
remember
the
that
time.
feeling. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And so I would say almost every day I went to a local park where I knew where the deer hung out, because I
Mhm.
could get there just right at sunset or like blue hour sometimes.
Yes.
And I would be like taking photos in the dark, learning all the dials and everything. And then uh and then like I would not want to leave, so like it would get dark, and then I would switch to video because you can kind of like extend your shooting
Stretch
time
it.
a little
Yeah.
bit. So I've always kind of dabbled in video a little bit too.
Yeah, yeah.
And then even after that, like it's like fully dark out and I'm just sitting there watching them and learning their behavior and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's so we sound so similar. I mean, I think other people listening could like totally relate because it's just like I kind of wish I still had some. I do still have some of that, but that beginning, like addiction. And like, I just
Yeah.
had to be out all the time. I had the same thing. Like we do have white-tailed deer here. So same thing, like as long as
Yeah.
possible, blue hour, and then like, oh no, and out in the mornings, learning their behavior before work or before the day started. Like it
Yep.
was just so, so
Like
fun. And
obsession.
yeah, and like I think it's a good point. And I think you've said this before in other things in some of your posts, like just to shoot local, how important that is.
Mhm.
And it's possible.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it depends. Like, I think some people just get really fixated on shooting what they want to shoot.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think like just shoot whatever you can find. Like if it's a
Yeah, yeah,
bird, if it's a deer, if it's a salamander, if it's
yeah,
like a moth, if it's a flower or whatever, just like if you want to learn, the best thing you can do is just go out and shoot. It doesn't have to be an amazing subject.
right. Practice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Consistency, yeah, and I even did my kids' sports, and I would do anything I could, like
Yep.
musicals, sports, whatever,
Yeah,
portraits, everything.
anything that
Just
interests
keep
you,
my
of course.
camera in my hand, and I even noticed, like, the last few months when I wasn't doing portrait, and I wasn't really doing a lot of wildlife when and, like, when it's February, March, or whatever, um, and how rusty I was when I picked it back up just from, like, 6 weeks of not it's like, "Oh, yeah." My brain had to, like, get used to the thing again, and it's like just
Yeah.
keeping sharp. That practice really keeps you sharp.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so how long have you had your Instagram account then? How did you decide I'm gonna do Instagram and share it with people? Because
I don't know how long I got it pretty early,
yeah, yeah,
early on in the journey, yeah.
yeah. Because I didn't I mean, you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I would say probably 7 or 8 years maybe?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really interesting. There's a lot of us that started 7 or 8 years ago, like
Yeah, kinda just before that,
2017.
like, COVID wave of
Yes,
people.
it's
Yeah,
so interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know what I hear a lot of people say that time period. And then, of
Yeah,
course, there is, like, the COVID wave of people that started during that,
yeah,
but there
yeah,
is a
I
lot
think
of,
there's
like,
a lot of
2017, 2018, right
yeah,
around in there, a lot of people got cameras, yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
started really getting addicted.
Yeah.
But you have other creativity that fuels your photography as well, not just photography, you have other creative endeavors that you practice. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've always been, like, an artistic person,
Mm.
I think, like, I can't tell you how many times in my life people have said, "Well, why didn't you get a job in, like, the arts and stuff
Oh,
like that?" And I've
interesting.
always just kinda seen it as a hobby.
Yeah.
But I think, like, it really helped with my photography because I, like, understand things like color theory and composition a little bit easier. Like, I've already
Mhm.
taken a lot of art courses and, like, I just have that kinda natural eye, I guess, is what how
Yeah,
people describe
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and your work does. I'm thinking when you said color theory, I was thinking of that portrait you did of the fox recently with
Yeah,
orange
I mentioned
fox,
it in that.
blue background.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, color theory."
yeah.
Blue and
I think
orange,
people
okay.
forget about that stuff, but, like,
Yeah,
especially when I'm, like, editing or something, like, I find those types of shots, like, stand out to me more. And
yeah,
then I guess, like, subconsciously, you just are kind of aware of those colors and how they
yeah,
work together. Yeah.
yeah. It's been on my, I would say I don't always write goals out, but in some years I'll write goals out, and color theory has been rolling over every year. Like something that I don't wanna just, skip like, breeze over, I really want to study it, and I don't have an art degree or art history background, my brother does, and so he's given me some tips and, like, given me some books to read and stuff, but it is so important what color says and how they work together and the different
Yeah.
hues, and
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
it's so important. I like, to listen to David Duchovny talk about that too, he's had several books.
Oh,
It's really good.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so what do you paint and other things, or what do you do?
Although, like,
Everything.
anything creative. Yeah, it's just like, "Oh,
Right.
I'll try that today."
I love that. That is so cool. I feel like I can see that in your work too. That like there could be
Yeah.
like a tapestry running through it or embroidery or painting and like you could just tell. It's just like got really beautiful colors and mood and I can tell
Yeah.
you're an artistic person just by looking at your account. It's so
Yeah,
and I
thank you.
also like I think you've called yourself a generalist. Instead of,
Yes.
like, just one like you just said, not just one thing. So,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
I like how your account has so many different things to that you photograph and fall in love
Yeah,
with.
I think maybe if I had a bit more, like, focus, I would probably be even a better photographer
No,
than I
no.
am now. But, But yeah, no, I just can't. That's not me. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
like, yeah, like
I love
I
that. You
I
have
love
to
it
be,
all.
yeah, and you have to be true to yourself. You can't force
Yeah,
yourself into a mold, which is kind of what social media
yeah.
wants to do.
I
Wants to
mean,
tell you.
I guess even I have still kind of cut some stuff down because I used to post more like just nature based stuff as well. So
Mhm,
just like
mhm.
landscapes or like
Yeah,
astro photography or stuff like that. And I always found like less engagement with those types of posts. So I think like over time that does kind of like break you down and you do kind
it
of,
does.
but I've always been more truly in love with the wildlife aspect anyway. So
Yeah.
that doesn't bother me too much. And sometimes I just sneak a little landscape shot in there.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, of course. I know. It's so interesting. So I had lunch today with family that are from out of town, and they were like, "Well, you could just teach landscape as well." And I'm like, "Well,
Yeah,
it's actually very different, wildlife
yeah,
photography and landscape
yeah,
photography." They're like, "Oh, it is?"
definitely.
I was like, "Yeah, it's very different." I know it's really hard. Like people just think, "Oh, you took a photo of a deer." I'm like, but there
Yeah.
are lots of things we're looking for, and it's not just a
Oh, of course.
shot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know
I
you
would,
were talking. Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say the same thing that like I would love to do more landscapes and even like invest more time in
Yeah,
learning them more and stuff like that and
yeah,
trying them more. But it's just like I have to do the animals. They're a priority.
I know. And like you said, now that 200 millimeter is so much more important because the environmentals allow us to
Yeah,
do.
I try to include environments a lot of the
Yeah,
time. I
yeah, or
find
just
I'm more gravitated to those type of shots too.
me too. I love them. I know. I leave soon for a trip, and I'm thinking about those kinds of shots already. I'm like, please, please, I want those shots. Let me show your coyote photo.
Sure.
And we were going to talk a little bit about high key and low key and just some ways you're creative in your photography. So we were going to talk
Okay.
about this beautiful coyote. Man, look at that snow on the nose. Can you tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about like this encounter and then maybe even how you post processed it?
Yeah, sure. This encounter, I was actually really excited about this because I've been watching this pair of coyotes for like 2 years now, and I
Mm-hmm.
would say this is probably the first good photo I have.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Um, yeah, I think sometimes it's easy to forget that like things are not always easy. Like when you see people posting all the
Yeah.
time and stuff like that, that it's just like, oh, it's easier. They just got that, and it was like simple. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But this was like a long time, um, like a long process
Mm-hmm.
to get a shot that I was actually happy with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people would also be surprised to know that this is like behind an industrial building.
Mm.
like,
Wow.
like the photo doesn't really show
No,
the true environment. You know what I mean?
but it's so
Um,
serene. It's beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And another like an interesting fact for behind the scenes of this photo is that I took it from my car window.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't out on the ground because anytime I would try to get out of my car, they would kind of like look at me and then like, oh, I'm gonna go that way now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I actually had been watching him and his mate, and I was paying attention to their habits and like which routes they were walking, and all of that kind of stuff. So I did see him go towards the back of this building where there's like a clear cut like grass area
Mm-hmm.
behind
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
between like the field area where this coyote was hunting. And I saw him head that way and I just zoomed over towards it as fast as I could, sorry, in my car. And I just prayed that he was gonna run the path towards me and not away from me.
Yes.
And thankfully he did, and he didn't notice me there until he was like right in front of me, and then he was just like, "Oh, it's you," and then carried on.
I've been seeing you
But
for 2 years,
yeah.
lady. He totally knew who you were, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, it had
They're
been
so
a
smart.
few days in a row of me trying to get a
Yes.
good shot of him. So so I
Oh,
was pretty happy with that.
it's beautiful. And I love the paw up and the snow flying from it and then snow on the
Yeah.
nose. If people are just listening, it's a beautiful coyote in a snow scene surrounded by snow with some grasses and stepping through on it's just really it's beautiful. I love coyotes. I just love
Me
them.
too. Yeah. Yeah. I get a lot of people comment on my coyotes thinking they're wolves.
Yes.
Because I think our eastern coyotes are like a mixture between our wolves and domestic dogs and the western coyote. So they have a
Mm-hmm.
bit of a different face than the western.
Mm-hmm.
Like the western coyotes have a slimmer
They do, yeah.
facial structure, and ours look very similar sometimes to our wolves.
Yeah. It's a pretty one. This is
Yeah,
the
he is.
male.
Yeah,
I think this
yeah,
is the
yeah,
male. Yeah.
yeah.
So
The
pretty.
female is definitely more skittish, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I just want to point out to people, like you said, this was a long process and there was a lot of patience. So
Yes.
it wasn't
Yeah.
perfect for Instagram the very
No.
first time.
No.
And
No.
I once had someone say, well, if you can photograph toddlers, you can photograph wildlife. And I was like,
What?
what? What? No. Like there's years that go into learning behavior and patience and waiting for that exact right scene. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and then once you take those shots, was the leg position right? All that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, there's so much that goes into it that I don't think people realize because maybe it's because you make it look so easy, Christine. It
Thank you.
looks easy. It's so beautiful. It looks so easy. And so have you ever had in all like since the last 7 or 8 years, have you had a mentor or how did you learn photography?
No, I never had a mentor. I looking back now, I wish that I had, to be honest.
Mhm, mhm.
Or maybe even multiple mentors.
Yeah.
I think that having someone like that can really fast track your growth and give you some focus. And like I was describing, I don't have focus. Like, uh, like, it's like, oh, today I think I'll go try this, and then I get focused on that for a little while, and then oh, I'll try this, and then I get focused on that for a little while. So I think maybe having someone to keep me on track may have sped up that learning process, but I also think that it was good to learn from myself and not really have any pressure from what someone else like
Yeah.
has decided what is good. You know what I mean?
That's
Or
true. You have your
what the
own
rules
style.
of photography are or
Yes.
anything like that. So I think it's also nice to have taught myself that way. And I also am like I didn't watch a ton of YouTube videos or podcasts or anything early on, which is another thing that I do wish that I had done a lot earlier. I've been consuming a lot of that type of content recently, and I think like that could have been very helpful,
Maybe.
but, but
Maybe, but it does seem
I
like
just want to
sometimes
make it hard for myself, I guess. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. But sometimes it feels
I
like
don't have the attention span to like sit and watch videos. I'd rather just go try and do it
and be
myself.
out. I know.
Well,
Yeah.
most of the videos I watched were like technical things like how to set up your camera or something
Yes,
like that.
yes.
But like as far as like the creative aspect, I learn better from just doing it myself or trying it myself.
Yeah, I actually do. I need to like have it in my hands and either learn by
Yeah.
example or
Yeah.
trying it. I
Yeah.
can't like hear it and do it from YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just I can't do that. Which is interesting. I mean, it's just different ways that we learn. But I
Hmm.
think that experience and maybe you just like enjoyed that kinetic part of it and then being outdoors and the artistic expression of it, the
Yeah, and
camping.
initially it really just started as like I liked going out and I liked taking photos. Like I like
Yeah.
being like I would just go for walks and I would just take photos of whatever I would find. It wasn't like
Yeah.
I have to be a really good photographer. Uh,
It's so interesting how that starts though. Like you want like I remember being like I would just take pictures of everything and then all of a sudden I was like, but no, I really want to capture it in the best way. It's so
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. And
Yeah.
a lot of times you'll see that like you'll see people when the light in my opinion is the best. They're like packing up their stuff and going because somewhere along the way they learned that you
Yeah.
can only shoot at golden hour and it's like, well,
Yes.
no, you're missing like the best part, which is like just after golden
Oh,
hour,
it's
you
so
know?
pretty. It's so pretty. I know I was looking through some of your shots when you said like I stayed for blue hour and like it was
Yeah,
pretty. It was so pretty.
yeah.
Um do you think that I lost my total I was thinking of blue hour and totally
No worries.
I was want to circle back to some of the animals that you find in Ontario and like that whole area. And do you have favorites though, that even though you'll shoot everything, do you have things that like
uh,
tug a little bit that are your favorite?
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say I am more drawn to predators. I don't know if that
Mhm.
like has something to do with my job. Like
Oh,
I can relate to,
interesting.
you know what I mean? Like I can just relate to them better. I understand their like behaviors really well and
Yeah.
I maybe I just like connect with them more. Like I can like feel their emotions more just because I deal with dogs and cats every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think they're a little bit more relatable to me. Um, but yeah, no, I've always preferred predators, even in birds. Like I enjoy like the foxes. Foxes are definitely my favorite.
Hmm.
I'm sure
Oh, we can
people have
show your
figured that out.
fox photo. We have a
I'm
fox
like,
photo. We'll show it.
yeah, I'm posting foxes like every week on Fridays lately. So
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
sure
That's
I'm sure
fun.
people I'm sure people know that I love foxes.
That's so cool. And that looks like it's in like a urban area, is it?
Yeah, so I have
Yeah.
tons of shots of this fox family in this area, and I did a lot with like nice clean plain backgrounds and like beautiful golden light, but I like this one. I like the house in behind. I think it tells a story about where they
Yeah.
live, and he's in the middle of a road. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not I'm not trying to make it something that's not. Like I want to tell the
Yeah.
story of what's actually going on. And I think that also developed a bit later on in my photography journey, because initially I didn't want anything to do with like human stuff in my photos initially, even like a human made fence or
Yes.
man made
Yeah.
fence or
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
I would be like, oh, I don't want a picture of the bird on that. But now I actually like to include that stuff. I think
Yeah.
it tells a story of how they live among us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I've been thinking about that too, just the way people capture urban photography and how I'm the same way. And my kids will even say if we pull up somewhere and they'll be like, "Oh, man-made. Nope, man-made." And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
"Wait, am I, how many
yeah.
times have I said this or something?" Like, "Oh,
Yeah, I
man-made."
don't know. I don't know when, but I think for a lot of people, like, eventually just it's like, oh, no man made, no man made. I don't want anything man made. And then one day you're like, I want everything man made. Like, give me those urban lights behind the
Oh,
duck. Like,
so
I want.
true, so
Yeah,
true. But, I think that's a way that maybe we challenge ourselves creatively too. It's like, "Oh, I've been doing this for a long time, and why did I set that rule? Like, maybe I need
yeah.
to
And that's
switch."
another one
You
of
know?
those like rules that people
Yeah,
have that maybe came from someone else, or maybe they, you know what I mean, like never really considered it. And I think it was actually someone, I couldn't even tell you who. It was so long ago now. But I think I had like made a comment about a picture that I'd posted that I didn't like, that it was on a man-made perch or something, but it was something cool like a snowy owl, and I wanted to post
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And then somebody had commented and it actually explained that whole thing, that it's really nice to see them in man-made environments because it shows that they live beside us. It gives people like more to connect with them about. They're not just like in the wild. Like no, they're in our backyards. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh,
Like
that's
they're
interesting. Yeah.
so. I think that was a big like turning point when I started like thinking about it a bit more. And then the more of those types of images you see, and you can see how nicely done they are sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That really just opened that whole world for me.
Yeah. And it's a whole category of images that are winning, winning awards and contests
Yeah.
and stuff when
Yeah.
you're showing those elements together and telling that story. Yeah, it's really interesting. That makes me think about it and try a little more every year when those winners come out for photographer of the year. I'm like, oh, I guess I really have gotten that rule way too. But if you're watching for that perfect mix, it really does work.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't, yeah, I agree.
So now you are mentoring yourself and helping other people learn photography and you're leading photography workshops. That's really exciting to some of your
Yeah.
favorite places.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've got one in Newfoundland for birds. Is that right?
Yeah, so both of the travel ones are
Hmm.
in Newfoundland.
Hmm.
Um, I'm eventually, I think, just not gonna come back from it.
I totally understand. There are
I
places
love it
like
so
that for
much.
me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
Sorry, excuse me. Um, so I started advertising for those recently.
Hmm.
I set them up in a way that was actually motivated from my own personal struggles with just feeling safe.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
figured there was probably a lot of other women who, like specifically women who
Hmm.
relate to that feeling. So that's why my first workshop was for women only.
That's interesting.
So
Yeah.
that one is the seabird workshop,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
I picked that because I think they're great subjects to learn from, and you don't need to have experience photographing birds. Like they're there all day.
Hmm.
You'll get the shot.
You're gonna get one.
Yeah. I also like absolutely love those places. And I think that they're a great trip for any nature lover. And then I added a Caribou workshop, which is
Hmm.
also
Hmm.
in Newfoundland. And that one is available to anybody. and it's a private workshop. So it's more ideal for like an individual or maybe a couple, and
Hmm.
maybe like a few close friends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you
Yeah.
had I know she had the options, like this is the cost for one person, this is the cost for two, this is the cost for three. That was really interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to do it a little bit different. So I wanted to kind of have like my own little niche so I can stand apart from other people. And I think I have something different to offer than other people do.
Hmm.
Nothing wrong with the other people that
Yeah,
do those
yeah,
types of things as well. Like everybody has something to offer.
yeah.
And honestly, if somebody came to me and they said they wanted this, I might say, oh, you probably should go with this person.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, so I just set it up how I felt comfortable doing it and how I pictured other people who struggle with the same kind of anxieties as I do would like to
Hmm.
have it run.
Hmm.
And then we'll see how it goes. Like I might tweak it over time,
Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, I set it up. Also, the Caribou one, it's very hard to get a place to stay near where they are. It's quite remote.
Okay. Okay.
So that's another factor into why I set it up that way. So if you want to go with a couple of girlfriends, then it'll be a nice trip, but you're going to be squeezed into a nice little oceanside suite.
That's fun. And we've got a picture of caribou sparring with their antlers,
Yeah.
and I've never seen one in the wild. So,
Yeah, no, they're I think outside of Newfoundland they're pretty rare. Like
mhm,
you can get them up in Alaska and stuff like that as well.
mhm,
But
mhm, mhm.
and I think they have I want to say BC or Alberta, but they're not doing well there.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's too bad. That's too bad. No, I have not been to that part of Canada, and it is starting. It interests me. It does interest me, Christine.
Yeah, yeah. If you like wildlife, you got to get out there.
I know,
Like
I know.
it's so great. Yeah.
And all my fellow Canadian and English photographers, like you guys just so inspire me about seabirds. I'm like, I did not think about this. But I mean, besides, you see puffins all the time, but like the gannets and all these things that people are
Yeah.
photographing, I'm like, who knew? Who knew? Like I'm just a Midwest in the middle. I don't know
Yeah,
seabirds.
yeah, yeah. Same for me. Like I hadn't really photographed much by the ocean until that
Yeah.
first trip out to see the seabirds. So I actually went on that initial trip because of like a post on Instagram that I saw.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I just was like totally fascinated by the gannet colony,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to go there. And I hadn't taken time off work in so long. I hadn't taken vacation in so long, and I just felt like it wasn't possible. I could never save the money to do something like that.
Yeah.
And Newfoundland was actually the only province in Canada that I hadn't yet visited, so it was already kind of something that I wanted to do just for like the culture and all that other
Mhm.
stuff as well, not just for wildlife. Um, and I don't know, something about that reel. I couldn't even tell you what it said or anything. It was something like "chase your dreams" kind of thing, and it had the gannets in the background, and it just I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go there, and I planned the trip, and we went and had an amazing time, and now I would love to move there. I would love to never come back.
Isn't this so
It's
interesting?
just crazy how something like that can just change your life.
Yeah, it is. And it's also
Yeah,
like the challenge of it. Like it definitely
yeah,
pushed you to do things you had not done before.
yeah, and it
And
made me
here
feel
you
like
are,
I'm
like
not. Yeah,
loving it.
I'm like, I'm not even living my life. Like, I'm just taking pictures in my backyard and I'm going
Oh
to work
yeah.
and you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't,
Yeah.
I just felt like I wasn't even living my life. And that trip, like, just changed the course of how I thought about everything.
That is
And
interesting. Yeah.
it's addicting. Seabirds are addicting because if
That's
you
what it
have
seems
my kind
like.
of brain where there's just so many thoughts going on and they're all fighting for a way out, it's like, it's so nice. It's just chaos. Like it's constant birds. Like there's nonstop birds. If you want to perfect flight shots, just sit there for a few hours and
Yeah.
flying by, flying by, flying by.
Yeah.
There are endless opportunities.
I
It's
definitely need to perfect that.
yeah, like you definitely don't need to have experience shooting birds to start there
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you'll get so much practice in such a short time.
Yeah,
And
that's
it just
cool.
keeps my brain busy, and when I'm focused, it quiets those like thoughts. You know what I mean? And you're
Yeah,
just kind of
yeah,
in the moment, and you're just time just flies, and you're
yeah.
in a beautiful place too. You're next to the ocean, and you know it's just it's an amazing place.
Yeah, it's like in the last couple of years, I'm realizing, oh my goodness, a lot of Canadians and English people are out there getting those seabirds, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
never
it
even thought
from
about
the
it.
photos and stuff like that, like even me, I wasn't like I just was like one day like I want to visit there. and
Yeah.
I want to see that bird. And it was
Yeah.
like never something that was really on my radar. Like I had seen puffins and stuff as a kid, and that wasn't.
Yeah.
They're cute. They're puffins, but once you start photographing puffins, it's addicting. Like
I know. I saw them in Alaska this last year and it was so fast. I mean, we had minutes,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they were so cute.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
glad that
But
I got to at least see
here
them.
it's different because you're like
Yeah.
sitting on the cliff and they'll walk right up to your feet.
Oh
Like
my
you get
goodness.
a lot better encounters with them and a
We
lot
get
of different opportunities.
we get to go to Maine and I want to time it where I can do puffins as well. I'll have to ask people. I'll have to ask all you guys how to do that because I don't. I know that Maine has puffins, I think, off of Maine, but I'll have to figure that out because I'm like, wait, seabirds,
Yeah, yeah.
birds. I
Once
get to
you're
see.
like you find a seabird colony and photograph them, I think you'll understand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
it's
I want to do that. It's on my list. It's definitely on my list. Do you have let me show your puffin image. It's so
sure.
pretty.
Yeah.
Speaking of environmentals that we were talking about, as soon as you sent it to me, I literally out loud said, "Oh, it's so pretty." I love how the light falls right on its face. So
Yeah, the perfect
pretty.
spot. Yep.
Yeah, so pretty. So you
Yeah,
were
and
talking about
I tried
environmental.
to include like the cliffs and everything in the background so you could see like the depth and
I was gonna say, yeah.
how like their environment. Like they're always sitting kind of like on the edge of the cliff and they just kind of fly off into the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I thought. The light right there, perfect hitting the puffin, and then the depth that you gave it. The depth by, you can see how it changes as the image moves to the left, and it's just a lot. It's really beautiful. It's really
Yeah,
beautiful. Do you
thank you.
remember what lens you had for that?
I'm sure that was probably the one I'm using most of the time now, which is the RF. I guess I didn't specify. I don't shoot Fuji anymore. I switched
Okay.
to Canon.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm usually using right now the RF 200 to 800.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember you saying that in the buyer questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would give you a lot of range then.
Yeah, it's great for birds because you
Yeah.
can pull back, and then if a deer walks by, oh, I can pull back to 200. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's nice. That's really
Especially
good.
for someone like me who likes everything.
That's true. That is a
Yeah.
good lens for that. I made the mistake of using that for the first time on a Zodiac doing whales. It
Oh,
it was not a good choice for me to just take it and do that for the first time.
yeah,
Yeah, I need to give that lens another chance because I was like, I
yeah. It's a great lens. I know a lot of people got hung up on the f9, but there's
oh
a lot of
yeah,
ways around that.
yeah. And I want to talk to you about just birds in flight and like ways to shoot birds and if you had any tips for all of us.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone jokes that I hate birds, but I actually do not hate birds. I have shot a lot of birds in the last almost 10 years. It's just, you know, that's if you live in the Midwest, you have to know birds. That's what we have. So, but
Oh
anyway,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you can give
and
us,
they're great to learn on. Like you're not
yeah.
gonna, I don't know, you're not gonna be able to apply the same skills to something that's like slow moving and just standing there chewing on
Hmm.
grass. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like you learn a
That's
lot more
right.
skills when you're photographing stuff like birds.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you wanna if you want to be a better photographer, if you're trying to improve your photography, like I highly suggest looking at the birds.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
was started with warblers and things like that,
Yeah,
like the
that's pretty
tiniest
hard
little
bird.
things, and that's so hard. But I mean, I got it, and now when I go back and try them now, I'm like, I can't believe I got that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
And you get
goodness.
your like your warbler neck because you
Yes, it hurts after a while. Like, okay,
yeah.
I've had enough. But tell
Yep.
us a little bit about this image and then give us some tips for bird photography.
Yeah, so this one is like a panning shot. Again, that's kind of
Mhm,
what I talked about with the seabirds. If you want to work on a specific type of shot, you will have many opportunities.
mhm, mhm,
Every few minutes, they're passing by, passing by, passing
mhm.
by. So you can just sit there and you could do this all day if you want to.
Yeah,
You'll probably need a lot of memory cards if you're going to do that, but
yeah,
but
but
yeah.
it's
So
fun.
yeah, yeah. And I would just say do you mean like for birds in flight specifically or just like finding birds or does it
Yeah,
either
like
or?
if you're sitting with birds and you're there a lot of flight, like I like how you included a panning shot because like you said, there's different things you can do as you're sitting there. So if you're in a situation where you have a lot of opportunities, like if you want to get the bird completely crisp, background crisp, how would you do that? And then how do you do a panning shot?
Okay, yeah. So I would say for birds in flight in general, you want to avoid like the just plain blue sky background. Like that's
Hmm.
generally like deemed as being boring.
Hmm.
If you can include some kind of habitat or something like that, that's always better to do. And in this case, you can because he had the cliff behind him. So if I also have photos where they're just sharp and everything is frozen. And those are nice too, but they can be a bit distracting with all the details on the cliff. So a nice way to separate that is to do something like this with the panning.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then if you want to freeze the detail, you don't want to do a panning shot. You just want like a nice crisp flight shot. Just remember, the smaller the bird, the higher your shutter speed needs to be. And then larger birds, you can usually get away with a lower, not low, but
Yeah.
lower than the
Yeah.
fast birds
Yeah. Yeah.
to freeze everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like you can be creative, like you don't have to freeze the hummingbird's wings from tip to tip. Like you can lower your shutter speed and get a nice blur and see that motion,
Hmm. Hmm.
something like that.
Yeah. I
And
think
then
that's
a big thing with birds that I see with people posting is they'll post them with their head kind of slightly turned away. You
good.
kind of you lose that like connection with them, and you don't usually get that catch light in the eye.
Yeah.
So I would say always try to make sure their face is kind of like angled towards you.
Yeah.
And then you'll get that nice like catch light in the eye, and you have more of an interaction with the subject.
Yeah. Oh, that always makes me so mad when I get home and it's turned and going the other way. I'm like, no, and the
Yeah.
light is perfect. I'm like,
or
no.
you're or you see it when you're out there, and you're like, just look at me.
I know, please, just look. I've had pelicans coming through the fog towards me, and then they turn. I'm like, no, do not turn. Do not turn. You're so beautiful right now in this morning fog. Please.
Yeah. And
Oh.
another thing I forget about a lot because I'm shooting with a lens that is f9, but also
Mhm.
if you're shooting birds in flight, it's a good idea to stop down.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't shoot them at the 2.8 because you're not
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
get the everything crisp like you want
I've definitely been learning that, getting off my 2.8 and 4.0. I was like, okay, everybody. Okay.
it.
No, with birds, you do have to do that for sure.
Yeah, especially birds in flight.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so if you have questions for Christine, please put them in the Q&A box, and we're going to have live question and answer too. So if you have anything, you can put them right in that Q&A box. And I think I lost my chat. Let me stop this share. See that better. Um, and I think I did have a question earlier, but now it's gone. Someone took their question back. Okay, so if you have questions for Christine, she has a wealth of information, and if you just had your curiosity piqued by something, just pop it in that box or in the chat, and I'll ask Christine for you. But do you still have dream places to go, even though you've kind of found your home place,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like
your heart
I probably
place?
should try to go somewhere else, and then I'll probably fall in love with that place too. So,
I know. I
yeah.
do this too. I do this too.
But yeah, I would say not just for wildlife, but just for travel in general, I would
Mhm.
really love to go to Iceland. That's
I
like
know. Yeah,
top of the list.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I obviously like Arctic foxes and stuff like that would be cool too. But even
Yes,
just for the scenery, I would love to go to Iceland.
I know.
Um,
As like at the top of my list.
yeah.
I've got a high schooler that's almost finished, and I told my husband, "Can we go to Iceland after that?" He's
Can I
like, "The
come with you?
dogs. Don't forget the dogs. We have two dogs." I'm like, "Oh yeah, darn it."
Yeah, that's one of our struggles too with the pets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be the Great Salt Lake. I don't know
Hmm.
if you're familiar with that, but
Yeah.
every image I see that comes from that place is just so beautiful.
Oh, you would be really good there with all the birds
Yeah,
and
I would
everything.
love it there. I would
Yeah.
just be sitting in the mud the whole time.
I know that you have to be careful because certain seasons the bugs are so bad you can't even sit there.
Yes, yeah, I've heard that.
But
Yeah,
I know there's lots of people that listen to this podcast, Maureen Madsen, Amy Ames, those kinds of people that know that place. And yeah, I'm sure
yeah.
they'd be glad to show you.
One day I would love to go there.
I
Yeah.
know it's on my list too. I wanted to get out there this spring, and it coincides right with my portrait season when to go.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I gotta make money so that I can
yeah.
go
So that
2
you
days.
can go on the trips. Yeah.
Like it's peak college grad season. I'm like, oh, what
Oh,
do I
okay.
do? I
Yeah.
can't leave. I've got to do these. I've got to do these. Yeah, that is definitely because I think like I really want to get an avocet, and I've seen them, but I've never gotten to photograph them, and I really
Oh,
want.
we had one here. I think it got a little bit lost.
Yeah,
But that was like when I was early on in my photography, so the shots are not that great. And it was also in like a sewage lagoon, which like
Oh,
who wants to hang out there?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was too far and like shooting down in Colorado, but I was so
Yeah,
excited. Like,
also shooting kind of down.
habitats. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
but they're so pretty. They're
they're
very
so
pretty birds.
delicate
Yeah,
and like elegant, you know.
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
photograph them, but I don't have those here ever. But you have grebes and
Oh
sandpipers and
yeah.
all kinds. I have a lot of sandpipers and killdeer and things like that.
Yeah, we get a good shorebird migration. They're not
Mhm,
here all the time.
mhm,
I hit a really good time for them when I was driving out east last time. So I have
mhm.
a whole bunch of shots from that.
Oh, that's nice.
And I love them too because they don't even care about you. They'll just run right
They
over you.
don't. I
Yeah.
know. I know. My problem right now is they're standing right in the guck, like
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the nasty.
You gotta get right down in the gunk with them and use
I
the
know.
gunk to blur out the rest of the
I
gunk.
know. I'm trying. I know. I need to get back and do it again because mine are right on a walking path. And so I
Okay.
haven't been willing to like lay down in front of everyone yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right. I'm like, do I want to trip people?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been doing that for ducklings, so I need to do it for the sandpipers. And I have really hard time telling apart the lesser and greater yellow legs. I I'm not good at that, but they're there too.
Yeah, I think stuff like that is tough unless you see them side by side.
Yeah, yeah,
But then I just kind of assume it's always a greater yellow.
yeah. I'm always like,
And
it's
then
greater.
I'll just maybe look it up and make sure. Yeah, it still looks like a greater. But yeah, I use my flip screen a lot for that. Like
Yes,
instead of just
yes,
laying down, I'll just like kind of
yes.
squat down and then use the flip screen that way.
Yeah,
And then you can get it really
absolutely.
nice and low and kind of blur out that gunky stuff in the front.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea too. If you have like man-made grass or something like those
Yeah.
ducklings or goslings are coming at you, flip that
Yeah.
screen out. Steve Mathis taught me that early on. I don't want to take credit for that, but just like blurring out the grass. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or find something to use as like foreground kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like
Mm-hmm.
a log or something, and you can kind of
Yes.
place it to hide all those messy distractions.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, I don't does anyone if anyone has questions, you can do that. We're gonna move on to the speed round.
Oh no.
Doesn't have to be that speedy though. I don't know why I call it that. I should just call it I think there's a podcast I listen to, they call it the slow round. I'm like, yeah, that's probably more like more like our speed, like a slow round. Yeah. So do you have something in your camera bag that you can't do without?
Yeah, I'm gonna be different than most of the people that answer this question,
Yeah.
I think, and say my travel tripod. I
Oh,
know a lot of
interesting.
people
Yeah.
don't like tripods, and I don't
Yeah.
use a tripod very often. I'm usually hand holding, or like kind of just resting against the ground or a tree or something like that.
Yeah.
But I really love having it because if I have a really nice encounter and I've gotten a lot of photos, it's nice to be able to pop the camera on the tripod and then take some video clips.
Oh, that's a good
And
idea.
having a bit of like the stability with the bigger lenses
Yes.
really makes a big difference in the video.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to use it more for that. And then, especially in the winter when we have more owls around, it's nice to kind of go back to them at that blue hour time when they're kind of waking up and being a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more natural. And then I can pop it on the tripod and I can even use my remote shutter on my phone and
Oh,
take like a really slow
that's a
shutter
good
speed
idea.
so I
Yeah.
can reduce all that noise and even with my f9 lens like I'm getting very clean
Oh,
shots of it
wow.
because owls don't move a lot, they're pretty still, so you can
Yeah.
do a longer exposure. And
Yeah.
I don't think people think about that a lot, so
Yeah.
um, I think that's a good tip for people.
Yeah. One of my favorite screech owl photos is a tripod blue hour, light is all
Yeah,
gone. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and that's usually when they look
yep.
nicer, like look
Yeah.
kind of like puffy and comfortable
Yeah.
and their eyes are not like
Yep.
squinty and they're
Yeah.
not trying to sleep, you're not disturbing them, they're already kind of waking up and getting ready to do
Yeah.
their
He woke
stuff.
up and
So
looked right at me and I was like,
yeah.
God,
You just
I
need
even
one. You
got
just need one to work.
it. Like I think I don't use a remote shutter because mine is old and I need to update it. But I just like took a burst and was
Yep.
hoping,
Yeah.
hoping
Yeah.
that one would be
Canon has an app that you can use that that's a remote
see,
shutter. Yeah.
okay, I'm really glad you're
No one
telling me.
ever mentions that. I don't know why
No,
people don't mention that. I use it all the time.
I have their app on my phone. Is it just like the Canon Connect one?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and it's
Yeah.
on there. See, I'm
You
glad you
just
said
connect it to
that.
your phone and it will let you take the photo from your phone. I
Okay.
know no one
Okay.
mentions that ever.
So that's a pro tip tonight, everybody. That's a very good tip. And I'm sure the other camera brands can do that
They
same
do.
thing. Yeah.
I'm sure they do. I don't know about Nikon, but my Fuji had the same thing. I used it
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time for like
Yeah.
the
I
night
don't know why I
photography.
didn't think of that. That is so interesting. Okay, I've got it now. I know it now. It's right here on my phone.
Now
That's a
you're
really,
gonna
really
learn
good
that
tip.
after we hang up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out tomorrow trying that. But
Yeah.
when I started the podcast in 2024, I think my first out of the first few guests, they said travel tripod. They said the peak
Oh,
design.
really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they said the peak design travel tripod. And they
That's
have,
the one I have. Yeah, the
yeah, I
peak
haven't had
design.
people's,
Yeah.
but that was really popular. That
And
answer.
it's really strong. It holds my big lens, so
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
yeah.
I'm about to travel soon, and I think I'm gonna try to take my big tripod because I don't have a travel one that's sturdy
Yeah,
enough.
it's if you like using a tripod every once in a while, it's a good
Yeah,
investment, sorry.
yeah,
It just folds up and you can pop it in your backpack and it's super
yeah. I
easy.
need to do
I take
that.
it out walking with me all the time.
Yeah, because mine is too heavy and too big. It's gonna take up like one half of the whole suitcase. So,
Yeah, and then, like, you have to plan when you wanna use it and when you wanna bring it, and then
hmm,
why bother?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have invested in it. I think it was just like one of those things like we were talking about earlier. Well, everyone says to do that. So that's probably the next step. I should
Yeah,
do that and got the whole
yeah.
Get So setup thing. And I don't need that.
It's too cumbersome for
It
me.
is too
Yeah.
cumbersome, too heavy. It rips my hair out.
Yeah.
Literally, when I go get a haircut, she's like, "You have a V." And I'm like, I know why.
The tripod did that to me.
Yeah. So I think,
That's
I'm
fun.
gonna try. I'm gonna try this time because, like you said, like I'd like to get some video, and a monopod just does not cut it. It's
Yeah, and I mean,
still
if you're, like, really into video, maybe you wanna get, like, more expensive tripods and video heads and stuff like that, but just for the stuff I do for
right,
Instagram or if I
right.
wanna do, like, a YouTube video or something silly
Yeah,
like that, then, that's more than enough.
yeah, yeah. I've definitely heard other people just rave about that tripod. So yeah, that's awesome. Is there something in your camera bag or your office that you bought and you're like, I never use this?
Yeah, I'm gonna knock on wood and say thankfully, my bear spray.
Oh yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Really good answer. Yeah. Ooh, don't want to use that. Do not want to
No.
use that. No. Do you have a favorite snack while editing or driving around?
Does coffee count?
Yeah. Yeah. People say coffee, tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
People have
Yeah.
their own like superstitions of candies and stuff they eat. It's so interesting.
Yeah,
It's like,
I've heard a lot of those ones.
it's like okay.
Uh, no,
I'm going
I don't plan that far ahead, so it's usually whatever I have in the cupboard.
I know. I'm going to Alaska with the Reddigs who've been on. So I know that there's probably going to be Twizzlers because they do Twizzling
Oh,
before.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I'm like, well, this is going to be a Twizzler trip, which I'm totally fine with
That's
that.
okay, yep.
And you talked about your go-to lens.
Yes, so
Those ones.
the right now it's still the 200 to 800.
Hmm.
I would really love like my dream lens would be a 400 2.8, but
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's creamy. It's nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a dream animal or bird that you want to photograph?
Yeah, and I think there's probably a large portion of people who like don't even look at this animal or photograph this animal, but for me, I would really, really love to photograph a pronghorn.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I love them, and I guess, like, out west, it's like they're kind of a nuisance.
They're white-tailed deer. They're like whatever.
Yeah, and I'm like, "They're so cute, those
Yeah.
eyelashes."
You guys don't know how good you got it.
I know, they don't.
Yeah.
But the eyelashes and the babies are so
I know they're so
sweet.
adorable.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. After this, I'm gonna send you my favorite, not of my own, of another photographer's. I'm gonna send you
Okay.
my
Yeah.
favorite pronghorn. Yeah, I had to buy it. I love it. I
Oh,
always
really?
think
That's
about it.
cool.
Yeah, I can't stop
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Oh.
I love it so much. Anyway, and then do you have a time in wildlife photography that just fed your soul or filled your feelings that filled you with good feelings?
Yeah, I think we already kind of touched on it, and
Mhm.
but I have to say that I'm definitely stealing Laura Dyer's answer
Mhm.
by
What is
saying the seabird colonies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So my first trip there, like we talked about, it just it just like really fed my soul. It just
Mhm.
set me on a new direction. And how we talked about, you just sit there and you just are taking photos all day. You're just in your happy place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. It's so interesting too. Like you don't even know you need it and then it comes.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this feels like home. Like this
Oh,
feels
now I
like
get
my
why
thing."
people really like photographing this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so interesting. I think like moose are like that for me and I don't think that will ever go away. It's like those
Oh,
things that you just love, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Moose and I don't get along, but that's
Oh, what happened?
I have almost hit more moose than I have photographed.
Oh no. Oh
They love to
no.
jump out in front of my car.
Oh, that's too
I don't even think I
bad.
have a nice photo of a bull moose, and I can't tell you how many times I have almost died
That's scary.
in the
That's
middle of it.
really
It's very
scary.
scary. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually know people who have had severe injuries
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
luckily survived. It's very
Wow.
scary.
Yeah.
Um, I learned really quickly you don't drive at night in Newfoundland.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
yeah, the most recent one was actually here in Algonquin Park. We were inches away from death with that one.
Oh my
But yeah,
goodness.
but they never want to give me a good photo.
Algonquin's on my list too, and my brother-in-law goes all the time and knows it from he's from the Chicago area,
Okay.
and that's on my list too. I'm like, I've just got so many places I want to go, but I keep going to the same place.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm falling into that too.
It's just you fall in love with certain things. It's hard.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so coming up in 26 and 27 for you is the two
Uh,
workshops.
yeah, so another 2 trips to Newfoundland.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the seabirds
And
and the caribou. And if people are interested in that, they can message you on Instagram.
yeah, the seabird one is coming up quickly. So if you can
Hmm.
still get a flight, then
Yeah,
yeah, you can join. Everything's set up. But I started kind of shifting gears to advertising the Caribou one now. So that's
yeah,
in the I think the last week of September
yeah,
of
yeah.
2027.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. People really, I've learned people plan their trips out so far.
Yeah, I just started advertising them thinking like, well, people won't know I want to do it unless I start telling people
Right,
I'm going to
right,
do
right.
it, and I'm going to go
Yeah,
anyway. So I'll just book extra time for a workshop if people want to join. And if
yeah,
not, I will just keep photographing them myself.
yeah, yeah,
And
totally.
there's lots of really nice like trails and hikes and stuff like that too. So
That's
it's
nice.
very easy to fill your time there.
That's nice.
But so I started advertising for them, and yeah, we'll see where that goes.
I love it, Christine. Like you're just, we've talked about this so many times on the podcast. Like people are scared to do something. They're not sure about it, but they love it and they step out and they try it. And that's what you're doing. It's like,
Yeah, and if no one wants to come, I'll just have a nice trip to
you're still
Newfoundland.
there. That's kind of how I feel about my next trip. It's like, well, I didn't book the number I wanted, but I'm going and I get time for myself to shoot, and
Yeah,
that is a
yeah,
win-win. Yeah, it's a
exactly.
win-win.
Yeah.
And I tried.
And in any case, I would still set up time for myself to shoot too, because
That's
you
right.
want to be focused on your people when they're there and they're
That's
paying for
right.
that service. So
Yeah.
I did book enough time to have people, and then I
Yeah.
booked enough time for myself as well.
Yeah. And you want to feel your
Yeah,
own self, and your
yeah,
own
exactly.
creativity too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and get it
And
all out of my system before I have to miss a few shots.
oh, it's so true. So where can people find you? I should have said your handle at the very front because that's I
uh,
told you people know you by that more than
yeah,
your
that's so
first and
true.
last name.
Yep, yep.
So where can people
Yeah,
find you?
so I would say it's easiest to find everything that I have through my Instagram,
Hmm.
which is photos by rice cakes.
Hmm.
You can find all of my stuff, my website, workshops, Facebook, all that stuff through the link that's in my bio.
Hmm.
So everything important is in there.
Okay. That's awesome. And you also offer portfolio reviews. I thought
Yep.
that was really good. And prints. So there's a lot of resources
Yeah,
and
I need to update the prints on there, but
everyone says
I
that.
think we all
Everyone
do
says that.
that.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. Everyone says that. It's just hard to keep up with. And
Yeah,
it's
I sell most of my prints like in person at like the craft fairs and stuff like
oh,
that rather
interesting.
than
Yeah, yeah.
online. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's nice. I can't, there's a disconnect for me here to do a market because I'm in the Midwest and all my work is from the West. So there's a definite
Oh, yeah.
disconnect here. No one wants to
Yeah.
buy my work.
Yeah.
So like, and so I don't even try because I think it's just like, well, people don't really get it and they don't want a moose on their wall here. So
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah.
yeah, I totally get it. It's understandable. It's fine. So if you haven't followed Christine yet, you can follow her at Photos by Rice Cakes on Instagram. And I'm just so glad that you joined me. I
Thank
know it
you.
was like a little nerve-wracking, but I
Yeah.
told you it was going to go by so fast,
It
so
did.
fast.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it was just so good to meet you and see you face to face and get to chat about things we both love. So I hope we get to connect someday, and you're always welcome to come back on the podcast too, anytime.
Thank
So
you.
you're like,
It
I
was
don't
fun.
know.
No, it was fun. I had fun.
Okay, good. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for our hour tonight. And I just appreciate you all so much. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Kathy. And I just want to, I don't really have a set date. My June person just switched on me. So I don't have a June anyone to tell you about in June yet. I'm still working on it. But I have things planned for June and July. Summer will be a little bit quieter. And then August, September already getting filled up. It's going to be really fun. I go to Alaska in July, and we're going to try to do something from Alaska. We'll see.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know if that's really going to work, but we'll film something, or I don't know. We'll do something. But you can also follow the podcast on Wildlife Conversations podcast on Instagram, or me, Jen L. Ritchie, on Instagram. The podcast is on YouTube under my name, Jen Ritchie Photography. And you can also find the podcast on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you find your podcasts. I also want to remind you that we're doing the 3-month cohort, which starts June 1st. If you'd like to join that, send me a message. And also offering moose workshops in the Tetons in the winter. It's so amazing this December for 2 days. Siler and I are. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But I want to thank Robert's Camera. I want to thank Guragir, and I want to thank you again, Christine. It's been so fun.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank
Fun.
you.
It was fun. Okay, everyone give Christine a follow. And thanks, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Bye, everyone.